Welcome to the VCU-ACE From Breakfast to Bedtime video series. Families often struggle with understanding the importance of daily routines and understanding the sheer amount of learning that happens throughout regular, everyday routines. In this video, we'll help families understand what their young child is learning through diapering routines. As with all human beings, the first need young children have upon waking in the morning is getting a clean diaper. While this might seem like a mundane task with no purpose outside of relief, there are actually a surprising number of learning opportunities that occur. Since so many families spend so much time diapering, let's go over all the different skills involved. Let's think about what actually happens when a parent or caregiver changes a child's diaper. First, there is a moment of recognition that it's time for a change. Some young children might be in the process of recognizing that they are wet or dirty or uncomfortable and be able to alert a family to such needs. There are also situations where the child doesn't quite recognize what has happened or cannot communicate that need yet. In that situation, a parent or caregiver labels what is happening and says something like, "It looks like your diaper is wet. Time for a change." When a parent labels what is happening, it acknowledges how the child might feel, helps the child learn to recognize what wet or dirty means, and models the language a child can use on their own when they are ready. The process of recognition regarding bodily functions and concepts such as wet and dry are the first steps towards using the toilet and can be a great thing for children and families. Families might also say something like, "Let's go get a new pull-up," as they pick out a clean diaper. This encourages self-help and independence, another great step towards toileting. Next, when a child and caregiver are in the process of diapering, they are often very close in proximity. The entire process encourages attention, engagement, and participation between child and caregiver. Diapering is also a moment where the concept of serve and return can be incorporated. Serve and return refers to the back and forth nature to the interactions between parents or caregivers and their child. Back and forth interactions can include conversations, but it can also include interactions that are based solely on body language. During this routine task, the child and caregiver are able to focus on each other in this moment, and diapering can be a wonderful opportunity for creating back and forth interactions and for building critical social communication skills. Before a parent leans the child back for a change, they might say something like, "Okay, are you ready?" and then wait a second for the child to respond. They might prepare the child for the action by saying, "Okay, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. A child might then point to something interesting nearby, like a red ball, and the parent follows up by labeling and describing the item. Or a parent might take the opportunity to find an item that keeps the child busy during the change, such as a toy animal, and then ask questions about the toy, like what color is it or what sound does the animal make. While this clearly encourages a back and forth interaction and communication, it also encourages a really important skill called joint attention, since the parent and the child are sharing attention on the same toy animal. A caregiver might also try to make the child sit still by singing silly songs, making up rhymes, or playing goofy games like, "Where are your toes? Well, there they are." A parent might model different facial expressions throughout the process and give an exaggerated surprise face that the child can then practice imitating. During the diapering process, parents and caregivers often label clothing as they help a child undress. They also label concepts like wet, dirty, or cold, and they label body parts or bodily functions. If a child isn't speaking yet or uses alternative forms of communication, the parents can model sign language while labeling different items, or point to pictures and visual supports during the process, or can even model how to use a communication device. The whole experience provides a child with a wealth of opportunities for learning vocabulary, commenting, and answering questions, practice using other forms of communication like sign language, and provides opportunities for learning about nonverbal communication like facial expressions, body language, and tone of voice. Parents and caregivers also try to encourage participation in the diapering process and ask the child to follow simple, one-step directions. A parent might talk a child through the sequences of steps and then encourage participation by saying something like, "Now push your foot through the hole, push, push, push," as they put shorts, socks, or shoes back on. As the child follows through, the parent might add a quick, "Good job." Or a caregiver might ask the child to hold something like the clean diaper and say, "Okay, now give me the diaper." When the child hands the diaper over, the parent can say a quick, "Thank you." When the diapering process is finished, a parent might say something like, "All done," and the child is naturally reinforced with something they enjoy, whether that is simply getting up and running around freely or engaging in a favorite activity. In some ways, this can resemble a simple first-then type of schedule. In other words, first the child does something that they don't really enjoy, but then that is followed by an item or activity that the child really likes. As you can see, young children learn a lot from these very brief and simple diapering routines. Some tips for parents and caregivers include: be positive. While no one particularly enjoys changing dirty diapers, try to focus on the positive interactions and learning that happens during this brief time. While many children dislike having to sit still for diapering, and parents may need to move quickly, try to take advantage of the time together and incorporate silliness, model communication and facial expressions, and encourage participation through the use of simple, one-step directions. For children who struggle with sitting through the process of diapering, really focus on that first-then type of schedule to encourage motivation and participation. Let the child know that first we change your diaper, and then we follow that with something that they really enjoy. So if the child really loves swinging, say something like, "First we change our diaper, and then we'll go swing." Really encourage a child to participate in the task by giving them a job to do, such as holding the clean diaper, handing over wet wipes, or holding on to socks during the change. This promotes self-help skills and ultimately encourages independence. For more information about what children learn through routines, check out all the other videos in our From Breakfast to Bedtime series at www.vcuautismcenter.org/earlychildhood.